iPhone XS and iPhone XR support dual SIM. Hey guys, today I wanted to talk about the new iPhone XS and the new iPhone XR. Both of them support this really cool feature called dual SIM, and having dual SIM support offers some pretty cool benefits. So for example, if you have a phone number for home and a phone number for work, you could use two SIMs in your phone, use one phone for both services. That way you could keep your business life and your personal life separate. You could also have coverage on two different networks. Say you travel around inside the US and coverage is good on one network in one area, but not so good in another. So you could have two different SIMs in your phone. A great example of this would be, imagine having a phone that's on the AT&T network and the Verizon network, the two biggest networks in the United States. You should have coverage almost everywhere you go in the US if you have a phone on either of those networks. If you travel between the US and another country, you travel abroad, you might want to have a local SIM in your phone. That's a SIM card from that country, so you'll have a local number. Typically, you'd pay less money for a local SIM card for a local cell service, and you'd probably get faster data rates with a local SIM too. So there are a lot of benefits of having dual SIMs. Now, dual SIM is not a new feature. There's been a number of Android phones that support dual SIM for quite some time. It wasn't a feature that was unique to Android either. Before that, there were even these basic phones, these feature phones that supported dual SIMs. While this feature is not that popular in the United States, it's very popular abroad. It's very popular in Asia and India, places where people have multiple SIM cards. Now, let's take a look at this a little closer on Apple.com. I'm on the iPhone XS and iPhone XS Max tech specs for these new phones. If you scroll down to where it says SIM card, you'll see it says dual SIM, nano SIM, and eSIM. So the way this works is that the iPhone XS has one physical SIM card slot, and then the second SIM or the other SIM is supported by something called eSIM. And this is a technology where they program the SIM number into your phone directly without putting a SIM card in. Apple's had this for a while. I believe they've used this on previous versions of the iPad, but this is the first time that it's coming to the iPhone. Now, there are some details about eSIM support and dual SIM support. There's a little footnote. It says eSIM support will be available later this year through a software update, requires a wireless service plan. Not all carriers support eSIM. The carrier might disable support for eSIM depending on where you got your phone. There is a link to an Apple support document, so let's check that out as well. So here are a few ways you can use it. One number for business, another for personal calls. To get a local data plan when you travel outside the company. To have separate voice and data plans. That actually would be really cool with prepaid wireless service. If you could use two different prepaid plans and get one that's really good at voice and one that's really good at data. You can make and receive phone calls from both numbers, send and receive text messages from both number, picture messages as well. Your phone can only use one cellular data network at the same time. You're going to need an iPhone XS or a XS Max. Now, this is interesting. It says the iPhone XS and iPhone XS Max here. I think it should also say the iPhone XR, but we'll come back to that. It looks like the way that this works is you're going to get an app from your carrier to add the eSIM support, or you scan a QR code to put it in the phone. Your phone will only be able to use one CDMA carrier. So in the United States, that's Verizon and Sprint. So if one of your SIMs is from Verizon or Sprint, then you will only be able to use GSM LTE networks for the other one. So if you're using Verizon, you won't be able to use the phone with Sprint as well. The other choices would be AT&T and T-Mobile. And then the rest of this document talks about what you'll need to do to set up your phone, how to get this to work. It looks pretty interesting. Check it out if you want to see how you would manage the two different lines. And the other thing we should take a look at here is that this phone uses one physical SIM and one eSIM, but not all wireless carriers support eSIM. So let's see what it says for the US. It just lists AT&T, T-Mobile, and Verizon. These are the actual carriers, AT&T, T-Mobile, and Verizon. Don't know how this is going to work with prepaid wireless carriers that use those networks. You may not be able to use eSIM. It would be great if they come out with a way that you can add eSIM for these other wireless carriers as well, but there's no more information about that here right now. Taking a look at the other new iPhone, the iPhone XR, look at the tech specs for SIM card. It says dual SIM, nano SIM, and eSIM. But if we go back and look at this support document, it just says what you'll need: iPhone XS or iPhone XS Max. I think that should say iPhone XR as well. The less expensive new iPhone, the iPhone XR, should also support dual SIM as well. Now, I watched the Apple press conference. I don't know if you did, but one of the things they talked about was dual SIM in China. Since China does not have carriers that support eSIM, the Chinese version will support 2 SIM cards. You put a SIM card in each side of the tray. The new iPhone XS and iPhone XR models for China are different than the ones that they sell in the United States. Let's take a look at that and see if we can find some details. Now, I'm here on the Apple China site, and I'm looking at the tech specs for the iPhone XS and the iPhone XS Max. Let's take a look at the section labeled SIM. Let's see if we can translate this into English. Now, if you look at the translated version of the page here, the left side says nano SIM card and the right side says dual nano SIM card. Just remember here that you're looking at the specs for both the iPhone XS and the iPhone XS Max. The Chinese version of the iPhone XS supports a single nano SIM, and the Chinese version of the iPhone XS Max supports dual SIM cards, dual nano SIM cards. What's the difference between the Chinese version of this phone and the American version of this phone? Let's see if we can find out what the model numbers are. Okay, great. So you'll see there are some different model numbers here. The iPhone XS for China is the A2100, and the iPhone XS Max is the A2104. So maybe later I'll go through and do a more detailed comparison about the cellular bands that are supported with these phones, and looking at the specs for the iPhone XR in China. And we'll see for the SIM card, again, it says dual nano SIM cards to support. Actually wondering if you get the iPhone XS from China, you might actually have better dual SIM support. What do you think of dual SIM support? Hit me in the comments and let me know. That's going to be it for this video, and I will talk to you next time.